Welcome to the 21st Annual Rocky Mountain Real Estate Challenge presented by Land Title Guarantee Company. At this time, it is my honor to welcome to the stage our 2023 Chapter President, Caitlin Quander.
Welcome. This is such an exciting night. I'm Caitlin Quander. I'm a shareholder at Brownstein, and I am so happy you are all here. As many of you know, this is the 21st Annual Rocky Mountain Real Estate Challenge, and the River Mile Project is such an exciting project to see tonight. I really want to thank everyone involved. Tonight is the culmination of 9 months of work, of volunteers and sponsors and students, selecting the project, developing the case, and preparing the presentations you see. So thank you very, very much. We have over 600 people here tonight, and this is our biggest networking event of the year. I also love the fact that we have this great competition between CU Buffs and DU Pioneers. So hopefully you have your name tag with your ribbon cheering on the school, and feel free to get rowdy and cheer loud. And of course, I have to encourage everyone to stay for the after party that Brownstein is hosting right up the escalators, so please come grab a drink when we conclude. Tonight, I want to recognize our special guest MC and Denver 7 weekday morning meteorologist, Lisa Hidalgo. Lisa, thank you so much for being here. And we are very excited to welcome our national NAIOP corporate president and CEO, Mark Salvatelli, who will speak later. This is his first challenge in his new position, so coming to Colorado to see it with us. Thanks, Mark. And I want to acknowledge the guests from our major challenge sponsor, Land Title Guarantee Company. So you have President John Frere Jr., who we'll hear from John later in the program, and then the commercial sales team and longtime challenge committee members, Luke Davidson, Mindy Humphrey. Thank you for this continued sponsorship. I think this is year 11, is that right? That's amazing, so thank you. I want to recognize the university competitors and faculty, University of Denver Burns School of Real Estate and Construction, Dr. Drew Miller, assistant professor, Dr. Vivek Saw, director. I don't know where their table is, but thank you. The University of Colorado Leeds School of Business, and that's Daniel Eisenman, faculty lecturer, and he's with Conscious Bay Company. There you go. And our NAIOP Distinguished Fellow and Executive Director of the CU Real Estate Center, Mike Kirchable. We saw Mike in the video earlier. And I do have to mention for those in the audience, you may have seen or heard, but Mike is retiring from CU at the end of June, staying on as a NAIOP Distinguished Fellow, but thank you for your leadership. So with that, I ask all of you to join me in welcoming to the stage this year's Rocky Mountain Real Estate Challenge Chair, who has worked very, very hard, John Bachnight with Bachnight Enterprises.
Thank you, Caitlin. It is so fun to be here again today. I've actually been here before. I was a contestant in 2012. Commerce City Dog Track, and I was a CU Buff. We were the winner that year, so go Buffs. Don't worry, I'm not a judge, so it has no influence. But it is great to be here, and just a quick reminder before we really kick things off. A lot of folks have put a lot of work into this, and so we just appreciate if everybody could be respectful, keep the noise down, keep the comments down. The bars will open back up, but, have fun. Just not too much fun yet. So, when I was a student, I didn't really recognize how much went into this. And over the past 21 years, there have been 700 student competitors, 11,000 attendees, and 28,000 community hours put into this project. And quite frankly, I don't think that really captures it. I mean, 37% of the time, statistics are made up on the spot. But, so, you know, I have one question. If you had a conversation with a student, had a coffee, if you were a judge, if you were a sponsor, would you just raise your hand if you had any interaction with the project? That's fantastic, and I just want to give everybody a big round of applause. We are eager to hear about the River Mile project. It is exciting, it's big, it creates new dreams for the city of Denver. But first, we do need to acknowledge the people that really made this happen. First, I wanted to really recognize and thank the Challenge Committee and NAIOP staff. Their names are on the board here. And specifically Jama File as well. She's amazing. She does all of this work. Let's give her a big round of applause. There's a joke amongst the committee that every year, the kickoff event, it snows. And this year was Snowmageddon. I mean, both universities were shut down and closed, and Jama pivoted within 12 hours and rescheduled the entire thing for the next week. So when you see her out and about, please tell her thank you. Okay, tonight we get to view the unique development possibilities for the River Mile and explore the benefits of utilizing mass timber. I would like to acknowledge the development team behind the River Mile project. It was really fun. My friend Mark Peru said, hey, this could be a cool idea. I said, yeah, let's talk about it. And with Revesco Properties and Cronky Sports Entertainment, they are the ones that made this happen. I would like to recognize Matt Mahoney, Senior Vice President, Capital Projects and Development for Cronky, Revesco Properties President and CEO, Reese Duggan, CFO, Mark Miles, and Development Manager, Nick Allen. Let's give them a quick round of applause. And this year was a little bit different. We actually had two co-sponsors. And the project sponsor for this year event was the U.S. Forest Service and the Impact Finance Center. So I'd like to thank Dr. Stephanie Gripney, the CEO of Impact Finance Center, Laura Wolf with the U.S. Forest Service, and Santosh Ramdos, President and CEO of Gary Community. Thank y'all so much. A lot of thank yous takes a lot, so this is fun to get to actually acknowledge the people that put so much work into it. And it can't happen without the involvement of our corporate sponsors. And so our major sponsors, whose names are listed on the slide, when we have the scholarship sponsor, Opus Foundation, university sponsor, W.E. O'Neill, and tonight's after-party sponsor, Brownstein Hyatt Farber Schreck. Thank y'all so much. Let's give them a big round of applause. We tried something else this year. So we really tried to pile new things onto the committee, but a new one this year, we had our architectural resources and general contractor resources for the student teams. We had 5 teams competing this year, 3 from CU and 2 from DU. Each team was paired with both an architectural and GC resource that provided valued time, energy, and knowledge to help the teams develop their vision for the site. A plaque will be given to those firms in appreciation for their efforts. And would those firms and their teams please stand at your tables and be recognized? Please hold your applause until I finish reading all the companies' names. And I would like to start with, for the University of Colorado, Gensler Architects, HDR Architects. They didn't hear me when I said, don't applause. But I appreciate the enthusiasm. Adolphson and Peterson, the general contractor, Saunders Construction, and the firms representing tonight's finalist team, Davis Partnership Architects and Brinkman Constructors. And the teams, please stay standing, and the firms who supported the University of Denver, Fitzgerald Associates Architects, Swinnerton GCs, and representing DU's finalist team, Oz Architecture, and Hensel Phelps. Let's give all of them a big round of applause. As Caitlin mentioned, 2023 marks the 11th year Land Title Guarantees Company has pledged to support the Real Estate Challenge. As the presenting sponsor for this event, Land Title helps ensure the long-term ability of NAIOP Colorado to support the future leaders in our industry. In recognition of Land Title's commitment to NAIOP Colorado and the Real Estate Challenge, we'd like to present Land Title with a plaque commemorating their participation. Welcome to the stage, John Frere Jr., President of Land Title Guarantee Company.
Quick words. First, to the Land Title team that's here tonight, thank you all for coming out. Also, yes, thank you. Also, big thanks to Caitlin for chairing NAIOP this year, doing a fantastic job being president, and to John for chairing this event. A lot of hard work goes into it. And then I want to thank Kathy Barsnar. You know, she runs incredible events for NAIOP. She puts on this amazing event. But the real amazing work she does, especially this year, is down at our state capitol, given some of the idiotic ideas that have been put forth. So a round of applause for Kathy, what she does for all of us in the real estate industry. Thank you all for letting us be a sponsor once again. Have a good night.
All right, thank you again, John and Land Title team. Mindy and Luke put a ton of effort into this as well, and just really appreciate making this happen. As you know, the Colorado chapter of NAIOP is one of 52 chapters, serving over 20,000 members throughout North America. Many of those chapters host annual university competitions, like our award-winning Rocky Mountain Challenge. Here to help us celebrate the 21st anniversary challenge, all the way from Virginia, please welcome NAIOP's new president and CEO, Mark Salvatelli. Coming up, Mark.
I mentioned to John that I think we have things backwards. You know, when I got the invitation to come out, looked at it and said, well, it's business dress. John's dressed like he's in DC. I'm the guy who's dressed Colorado business. Feels great. So thanks, John. You know, it's fantastic to be here. This is, you know, what you heard occurs in a number of NAIOP chapters, but not at this level. Not at 600 plus people, not with the passion that are behind these schools. But what makes these events, in my opinion, so successful is they truly represent what it is NAIOP can do and does do for the commercial real estate community. Take a look around. This is the best networking event you're going to find in Colorado in commercial real estate. Somebody's going to make a deal here tonight. That's almost a guaranteed. You know, that's why they were plying you with liquor later on tonight. We'll make sure something happens in that regard. But when you hear about these projects, when you see what each of these schools has done, you also see what comes of value from NAIOP. You're going to hear the importance of the education that they receive. When you see what they put together, and you see the talent that's there, you realize, wow, I wish I'd been that educated. Maybe not you, certainly me. That's the way I looked at it. But you also get some of the other stuff that you hear is important from NAIOP too. You know, in each of these presentations, you're going to hear about the importance of regulatory issues, the importance of legislative issues, something that we're always working on at NAIOP. And I know you're going to hear that that's such a surprise from a guy who works inside the Beltway and spends time on the Hill. But yes, it impacts the industry tremendously. And all that NAIOP can do for the industry, all that it does for each and every one of you here in this room is exactly what makes the commercial real estate community here in Denver as successful as it is. You are going to see great projects tonight. These teams did great work. And to be able to advertise it and to show their skills in front of 600 of you today, this is a great accomplishment. Thrilled to be part of it, glad to be here, and best of luck to both the teams. Thank you very much.
That was amazing. I'm jazzed up. All right, folks, we are moments away from watching the challenge. Tonight's special guest, MC, is a Colorado native with deep roots in the community. Is a CU alum and longtime Denver 7 morning weather meteorologist. Please welcome to the stage, Lisa Hidalgo.
John, thank you. Oh, is this my walk-up music? I was a little early, a little premature. So nice to be here with you guys tonight. I am the morning meteorologist at Denver 7, and by morning we mean I wake up at 2:45. That's not morning, that's like overnight. So this is way past my bedtime, but this looks like a fun group. I'm willing to party a little bit longer with you guys. I am from Colorado. In fact, I grew up just on the west side of town, in fact, a few blocks away from the original Elitch Gardens location. And so when I was looking at this project, reading about what we were going to be doing tonight, it brought me back. I started reminiscing. May or may not have kissed Zach by the gum tree, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Those of you that might know my husband, don't tell him that one, all right? But yeah, a lot of memories, and then I stopped thinking about it because I thought, man, I feel really old at this point. But it's so cool to see what is happening in Denver, being in the news, reporting on these stories, seeing the transformation. Our Denver 7 building is moving here pretty soon, within the next 7 to 8 months, hopefully, so a lot changing. I am a CU alum, I am. Go Buffs. But I unintentionally wore Pioneer Crimson Red, so I've evened it out for the evening, I have. I want to remind you guys about the year-long challenge and the process that makes today's event a reality. Now, these student competitors have been working all semester for the chance to compete here today. The top students began at noon, presenting their plans to the judge, opening their work for a lively round of questions by our esteemed panel of judges. So a lot going into this, not just tonight. The judges have put in countless hours reviewing the pitch books, visiting the site, grilling the students, and their job obviously is not done yet. Soon the students will wow you with their presentations, and the judges will be asked to make their final decision. Students are going to be judged on their written development plan, the judges' Q&A that was held earlier today, and the presentation that you're about to see. For a complete listing of the judging criteria, you're going to see that here throughout the show. Now, speaking of the judges, I'm guessing they're scattered around the room right now. If we could get all of the judges to stand for us right now. All at this table. Oh, they're all, never mind, they're not scattered. They're all at one table. Round of applause. Not just judges. These are icons in the industry, and I would say if you're going to schmooze anyone, it's the folks at that table later today. So without further ado, the coin toss at the kickoff event, which, by the way, I'm sorry, there was a blizzard that night at the kickoff? By the way, I report the weather, I do not create it. Can we all remember that? There's more snow tonight, I'm just the messenger. The kickoff event was held back in January, and the coin toss is going to determine who goes first. Back to defend their title from 2022, please welcome the University of Colorado's Flow West development team, including Juan Arriaga, Jeff Lukes, John Allering, Ezra McPhail, and Kyle Hartman.
Hello? Can you hear me now? Now we can hear me. Okay, great. All right. What if developing a mixed income community in a net zero neighborhood while providing your investors their desired returns weren't mutually exclusive? Flow West River Mile will be Denver's first neighborhood built to energize Denver 2030 standards while addressing Colorado's affordable housing crisis head on. Over the next 10 years and $3.5 billion, we will be delivering nearly 7 million square feet of office, retail, multifamily, hospitality, and civic uses while providing a project-level IRR of 16.5%. My name is Ezra. I'm joined by my colleagues John, Jeff, Kyle, and Juan, and we are Flow West. So where is the River Mile? Situated at the heart of Denver with Ball Arena to its east and its future development, and Union Station to its north and Mile High to its southwest. As part of this year's challenge, we had 3 parameters we had to work within. Delivering a 500,000 square foot office user by the year 2029. At least 15% of our units needed to be affordable, down to a 30% area median income. As well as having 20% of our buildings being gross square footage of mass timber. So to ensure that we kept sight of the forest through the trees, we developed pillars that we could continue to look at and answer. And our first being community, a place where people can come and be invited and feel safe. Adaptability, because we want to ensure that our buildings stand the test of time. Sustainability, because we want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem when it comes to emissions in the built environment. And these all ladder up to our core pillar, social mobility, because we truly believe that social success translates to economic success. With that, I'm going to pass it over to John. He's going to tell you why Denver's ready for this development.
Thanks, Ezra. So looking at the Denver market, job growth is projected to grow at 10.9% from 2020 to 2030. In addition to job growth, population growth is projected to grow at over 9% from 2020 to 2030. Both population growth and job growth are considered primary drivers for real estate development, and they support our development here at the River Mile. But drilling down to the Denver CBD, we really looked at the renter populations, median incomes, and average age groups in order to inform who our potential audiences would be at the River Mile. So let's meet some of our neighbors, where we will target up-and-coming families, metro renters, laptops and lattes, as well as golden years. Each of these groups is looking for fun and unique ways to engage in big city living. So now that we've kind of understood who will be our potential audiences, let's look at the market. So in the surrounding area, there is a multitude of restaurants, gardens, transit centers, and entertainment, and you'll also see that there is nothing in our immediate proposed development which indicates an opportunity to add in additional venues and unique ways for our residents to engage in city living. So, is it feasible? We talked to a multitude of industry experts in addition to our market analysis, our feasibility analysis, and our comparable analysis, and we have concluded that Denver is ready for the River Mile. So now I'm going to pass it off to Jeff, and he's going to take us through our development programming.
Thank you, John. The River Mile is designed as a central business neighborhood. Spanning nearly 7 million square feet, it includes office, multifamily, retail, hospitality, green space, and civic uses. Our strategic phasing plan will establish a vibrant sense of place and minimize construction impact. In phase 1 of our development, it's centered around the 8th Street pedestrian corridor running from the light rail all the way to the river. It includes our large office tenants, multifamily, condominiums, retail, and our civic center. Developing these specific parcels triggers important infrastructure upgrades around the site, including a bridge over the river, upgrades to the light rail bridge, and a transit hub. Not only do these improve access to the site, but it also ensures that we're not impacted by their construction in later phases. The critical mass that we're delivering in phase 1 helps us create a sense of place early on, and while this phase benefits from future development, it's not reliant on it. Our phasing plan then continues with exciting new upgrades and new amenities. In phase 2, we expand on the core of our development, and we offer more multifamily, office, as well as a King Soopers and a Parkside food hall with makerspace. In phase 3, we complete the river development, and we offer new experiences. So you can grab a cocktail on the roof of our hotel or at a speakeasy in our activated alley. Phase 4 establishes more housing and green space. This is where our 30% AMI residents will call home, and here you will also find a transformational center that will help people transition out of homelessness and offer services and support to all of our affordable housing residents. Our phasing concludes with the largest parcel of the site, which is designated for office and multifamily. Now, while we feel this is a great fit for the site, we recognize that this phase won't deliver for almost a decade, and FlowWest is committed to remaining flexible to adapt to the needs of the market. And now that we understand what our site contains, Kyle's going to take us through how people will engage with our central business neighborhood.
Thank you. So we really wanted to capitalize on Revesco's planned improvements to their master plan of this development. But the first question with any business or with any neighborhood is, how do we get there? So this master plan includes bike paths, walking paths, access to the light rail, as well as an autonomous shuttle. But when we're talking about 7 million square feet, it really helps to bring it down to a human scale. So that blue circle is a 3-minute walking radius that we timed ourselves doing, and we can really see that you can make it all the way from the light rail to the river in just about 3 minutes. Another aspect that we really wanted to capitalize on are the road layouts. They use a natural traffic calming layout with use of trees and barriers to separate roadways from walking ways from bike paths, so people all have sense of safety and security throughout the site. But it's best to really experience the site as we go through it. So this is a view from atop our Civic Center looking towards the connection from the light rail bridge. This is bridging the gap between the Ball Arena and the River Mine. As we walk over that bridge, we see our Civic Center. This is something we've lovingly called the Elitch Community Center. It'll be home to our library, our STEM high school, some nonprofit offices, as well as community climbing gym to be operated by the Auraria higher education students. As we go down the block, we see that transformation center, which we've strategically paired with our 30% AMI units so that we can give families who are in the final stages of homeless rehabilitation an opportunity to figuratively and literally come out of homelessness. Just a couple blocks away from that, we find the Shoemaker Park. This we've named after Jeff Shoemaker of the Greenway Foundation in honor of their work and effort towards revitalizing the South Platte River. As we go through this park, we see family and communities. We see a lot of fun and whimsy with a little essence of that old Elitch Gardens. We also feel a lot of culture and celebration. Then we come to the diamond in the rough. Just a few feet away from the park, we come to that South Platte River. And without the revitalization, we never would have experienced this. So this river is gonna have opportunities of biking paths, walking paths, ample dog parks, as well as water sport equipment rentals so that you can really just dive in. The next elephant in the room, after we've walked up the park through our 8th Street Mew to the office tenant where we started this tour around that Civic Center, we find home to our office tenant. That was a really big challenge to find a tenant that would be willing to take on a 500,000 square foot office. And we feel that LinkedIn is a great fit for that for a couple of reasons. First, they share our core values of sustainability and upward social mobility. Also, they have leases in New York City and San Francisco expiring in 2027, right when we will be delivering our office. We've also considered other tenants of the data security industry due to their needs to be on site for the data storage as well as a requirement to work in person. But with a large office tenant comes a lot of employees. And how do we attract those employees to this site, especially in this changing era of time? Well, we wanted to create a way for people to shop, sip, and savor. We've created this through our retail rows down our 8th Street Mew and our activated alley. We have this as an activation around the clock by using aesthetic lighting that creates a sense of appeal to the eyes, as well as another layer of safety on top of our already 24/7 security services. This can give families and individuals a much more sense of comfort. So now that we've talked about our community and our upward social mobility, Juan will talk about sustainability and adaptability.
Thank you, Kyle. Sustainability will be at the heart of the River Mile. Energize Denver has committed to achieve zero energy by 2030, and this means that all new buildings constructed after May 1st of this year have to be all electric, highly energy efficient, providers of demand flexibility to the grid, and fully powered by renewable electricity. We're gonna partner with Excel Energy with 1.3 million square feet of solar panels, which will accomplish 29% of our energy needs on site. This is achieved by a combination of south-facing facade solar panels, also on podiums and on the rooftops. The site will feature 2 million square feet of mass timber, offsetting 22,000 metric tons of CO2, and that's 30% of our site. We're really proud of that. The table summarizes the breakdown by lot, and we're gonna have it in hotels, multifamily, civic, and condo, as well as offices. Water reduction is important, and to reduce so, we're gonna use low flow rate plumbing fixtures, gray water toilets, reclaimed water for irrigation. Additionally, we're gonna install geothermal heat pumps to potentially save 30 to 40% in our energy use, equivalent to $8.5 million. The site will target performance-based building standards, and we're confident that by targeting these categories from the LEED scorecard, we can achieve LEED Platinum, which should allow us to get a 6% rental premium and a 7% sales premium. Adaptive reuse, it's important because we want to continually cater to and assess the needs of the community. And a strategy to do so is having our offices and our parking designed so that they can be easily transformed into other uses should community needs change. An example of this in action is avoiding sloping floors in parking lots and instead opting for flat floors. And this can yield a return on cost between 5 and 7%. And with that, I'd like to pass it out to Ezra, who will inform us how to finance this.
Awesome, thank you, Juan. So it really starts with identifying the right partners like Revesco, Brubacher, McWinney, and Elevation Community Land Trust, those that really share our same mission and vision. From there, we need to flex our partners' expertise on a project-by-project basis, building a resilient phasing plan, and then finally, execution. Here we have our capital stack for our whole development on the left. You can see we're using debt, equity, and gap financing. Some of our gap financing includes full spectrum capital, tax credits, Metro District funds, and grants. These are really going to help offset our social causes. Here we have our overview of our returns. On the right are some key metrics for our entire project. And then to the left, you can see a phase-by-phase breakdown of our internal rate of returns. You can see they're strong throughout phase 1 through phase 5. And we really attribute this to our phase 1 in building that sense of place early. So while we do recognize that our returns are very strong, we wanted to stress test our assumptions to ensure that our development could handle whatever the future may hold. We identified 3 categories: income, expense, and timing. Here you can see our base case outlined in red. We can withstand substantial amount of time of decreased rent with cap rate expansions before we're getting into the red in both multifamily and office. When looking at expenses, we wanted to see what would happen with increasing our cost over cost escalation month over month, as well as our cost contingency. We can see that we can add an additional 10% to our costs while doubling our month over month escalation and still be within our strike range. As for timing, we looked at what a construction delays might look like, as well as what slower lease up might happen. And there is no red on this chart, and that is very promising. Flow West Central Business Neighborhood will bring us from what if to being excited about the River Mile and excited about what future downtown Denver developments could look like. And as John F. Kennedy says, a rising tide lifts all boats. With that, we'd like to say thank you to our professional resources, Davis Partnership and Brickman Contractors, our competition sponsors this year, NAIOP, Rocky Mountain, Impact Finance Center, Revesco, and the U.S. Forest Service, as well as our professional advisors, and certainly last but not least, our academic advisors and also our colleagues at the University of Colorado Boulder. Thank you.
Let's hear it for CU, you guys. One more round of applause. I'm not gonna lie. I started to get a little lost in the whole number thing. I talk tornadoes, so.
Sorry.
Did we get your attention there? Hello, check, check. We got mics coming off. This happens all the time at Denver 7. Usually we just go to commercial when this happens, so you have no idea it's that bad. You guys, that was awesome. You know, you had me at laptops and lattes, I'm not gonna lie. Can I make a suggestion though? How about MacBooks and margaritas? Yeah? Okay, good. All right, awesome, CU, thank you guys. Now, without further ado, let's see what DU's got. Please welcome the University of Denver's Cottonwood Development, including members Drew Considine, Adrian Frank, Claire Lothry, Andrew Mitro, and Alex Reedy. Round of applause for DU.
Do I just start? Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Adrian Frank, and I would like to introduce you to Drew Considine, Claire Lothry, Andrew Mitro, and Alex Reedy. We are Cottonwood Development. If I said waterfront property to the average person, Denver would be one of the last places that came to mind. Those same people would be shocked to learn that the waterfront property I'm referring to sits along the banks of Denver's South Platte River. However, the development of the River Mile will change this perception forever. The River Mile is the missing puzzle piece for downtown Denver. Our project will be a national example for how thoughtful development can connect, enhance, and improve our downtowns. The Cottonwood tree serves as a representation for how our project will catalyze the growth of the entire River Mile neighborhood. Our pillars of development are affordability, sustainability, placemaking, and economic feasibility. This first phase encompasses 1,193 residential units, 896,000 square feet of commercial and municipal space, and 210 hotel keys. In a period of 12 years, this project will reach a total capitalization of $1.4 billion and will achieve a levered IRR of 20.4%.
Currently home to Elitch Gardens, the River Mile is located in the heart of downtown Denver. The River Mile amasses 24 acres of land bordering the South Platte River, just a short 0.8-mile walk from Union Station, with immediate access to I-25 and less than 3 miles from I-70 and US 6. Additionally, this site boasts 2 light rail stations and connection to the 5280 loop, the South Platte River Trail, and the Children's Loop. The location of the River Mile presents a distinct opportunity to create a premier self-activating community based on its proximity to Ball Arena and Power Field and many other amenities we have highlighted on the map.
So this site's history also really highlights its importance. And for thousands of years, the South Platte River Valley was this land of really great abundance, and the native inhabitants who lived here, they shared a deep connection with both the earth and its natural cadence. But in 1858, everything changed as gold was discovered right by this site at the confluence of the South Platte River and Cherry Creek. And as Denver expanded, the river really became a huge resource of water and power. And going into the 1800s, the late 1800s, this site also became a transportation hub. So a rail yard was established on the banks of the river. And as many of us know, the site is currently home to Elitch Gardens, who moved there in 1994. But what excites us about this site is its future. And recently, Revesco and KSC have led a monumental effort to clean up the river and to reimagine a new future for this really crucial site for our downtown. Our Phase 1 plan has the goal of bringing the river back to the center of the lives of Denver's residents. And in doing this, we hope to honor the history of the site and to rediscover that natural rhythm of the South Platte.
Cottonwood Development has decided to develop lots 1 through 6. This will be done in 3 subphases. These 3 subphases will amass 9.4 acres, with Phase 1A including the corporate users built-to-suit office, the Viceroy Hotel and Residences, the Studio Lofts and Retail Pavilion, and the Centennial Apartments. Phase 1B will include the Timberline Luxury Apartments, the Timberline Boutique Offices, the River Mile Residences, and the Little Raven Apartments. Finally, Phase 1C will include the River Mile Education Center.
When creating our master plan, we prioritize maximizing pedestrian circulation, minimizing vehicular traffic, drawing people to green spaces, and had a solar study completed so that we oriented our buildings properly. This forethought created activation points and pedestrian connections that became the foundation for our placemaking. The River Mile Education Center is the anchor for this neighborhood. This building will include health, wellness, riparian education, and community services. This River Mile Education Center will be the place where a city dweller of any age can enjoy fly fishing, yoga classes, go on a guided ecological walk, or meet with a medical provider. The upgraded Centennial Park is the beachfront for this neighborhood. Here, residents will enjoy improved river access and one of our relocated Elitch Gardens rides. The Corporate User Plaza in front of our build-to-suit tower will be the 3rd place. It will feature destination entertainment venues and seasonal activations like farmers markets, ice skating, and food trucks. The pedestrian spine is an intimate connection point between the corporate plaza and the river. Here, pedestrians will lose track of time as they meander through boutique shops and cafes in this European-inspired alleyway. My personal favorite, the Little Raven Restaurant Row, is the front porch of this neighborhood. This patio-lined street will activate Centennial Park and will definitely become a foodie's paradise. And finally, the 9th Avenue Shopping District will be a distinctive river to transit retail experience that will go toe-to-toe with our nation's best outdoor retail centers.
Overall, 40% of carbon emissions come from the built environment, while 13% comes from construction and 5 to 8% comes from steel and concrete buildings. Let's let that sink in for a second. Now, emerging on the market is a sustainable carbon option called mass timber. And this is made up of interlayered wood studs that are glued, nailed, or doweled together into panels. And these panels are measured in terms of plies or numbers of layers thick. Now, mass timber boasts a similar strength to weight ratio to that of concrete, while being 76% lighter and outperforming both steel and concrete from a fire resistance standpoint. Due to this, the 2024 IBC code has approved mass timber for up to 12 stories of construction. And within our project, we're achieving 26% of the interior square footage over 3 buildings as mass timber, but specifically CLT.
Providing affordable housing today is one of the biggest challenges that faces our industry. This can be illustrated by the 63% rise in median home value in Denver over the past 5 years. Our proposal would allow residents of all income levels to work and live within the River Mile. We can achieve this by exceeding the minimum number of required affordable units of all unit types and for all income levels, and by providing affordable for-sale townhome units. It's also no secret today that the macroeconomic climate presents many headwinds for new development. Volatility in the capital markets, historic inflation, and an impending recession have left little room for error. There's also challenges here in Denver. With population growth has cooled from its pandemic highs, long-term growth trends are expected to slow, and employers have struggled to attract employees back into the office. Now, despite these headwinds, Cottonwood Development has identified several opportunities in Denver and has designed the long-term master plan to capitalize on these trends. Our uses and phasing decisions are reflective of our in-depth market research and conversations with key insiders. Starting with multifamily and residential, new regulations in Denver and high cost of debt have resulted in a 90% drop in new permit applications in the second half of 2022. We expect this to result in a drop in deliveries and create a severe undersupply starting in 2026, which will improve occupancy, rent growth, and other multifamily fundamentals. In office, we have seen a flight to quality as companies now see office space as an employee benefit and an HR recruiting tool. Despite a currently unfavorable development market in office, we've seen offices that meet the new needs of tenants outperform the market, and we've designed our office assets accordingly. Retail, we've seen rebound from its COVID lows as consumer spending has recovered. At the same time, inventory is shrinking as obsolete space is being taken off the market and converted to better uses. This all paints an optimistic picture for well-designed neighborhood retail centers that benefit from high foot traffic and nearby attractions such as the River Mile. Finally, hospitality has seen perhaps the largest impact from COVID. But as of mid-2022, we've seen business has returned and fundamentals are strong again today. And we expect the Viceroy Hotel to benefit from the nearby corporate space, the convention center, and the proximity to Ball Arena and to Mile High Stadium. Now, as I mentioned, our in-depth market research has been a key driver in all of our use decisions and phasing.
So within our phase 1 development are 3 sub-phases that we spoke to earlier, being A, B, and C. Phase 1A will deliver buildings 1 through 4 and will set the precedent for the remaining River Mile development. We will deliver our key tenant into building 1 while simultaneously delivering a hotel multifamily mix in building 2, 2 additional multifamily buildings, and a retail activated plaza between them all. Phase 1B will deliver buildings 5 through 8 and build on the existing placemaking established by Phase 1A. We will deliver 2 multifamily buildings, a condo, and spec office. Now, this phase will carry our riskier assets and can be adaptable to the market conditions that exist during entitlements. Phase 1C is our final phase, made up of Building 9, the River Mile Education Center, which will be financed through the bonding capacity of the existing development to date. Now, overall, we had 4 general contractors review our project and are currently holding a GC per building. On top of their numbers, we've included tenant improvement budgets as well as prorated escalation to the ground break dates. Lastly, we've developed detailed soft cost budgets with items that roll up to housing linkage, OS&E, FF&E, municipal costs, and broker fees.
So our $1.4 billion of total capitalization is going to come from a variety of sources, which we'll dig into in a minute here. But overall, our project is expected to achieve a 20.4% levered IRR and a 3.2 times multiple on cost. Our limited partner will receive a 17.7% levered IRR and a 2.8 times multiple on cost. In looking at our equity stack, we've assumed a 95-5 LP GP split of all equity costs. And then for our promoted interest in our IRR hurdles, we try to look at the risk profile of each asset class to determine those hurdles and promoted interest for each building. Additionally, as Andrew kind of hit on, we're clearly at a really tough time in the market right now. And given just the scale of this project and some of those headwinds, we've assumed a 10 to 15 year hold period for our capital partner. And then shifting gears to debt capital markets, we're assuming a separate construction loan for each building. And we've taken a lot of time talking to local brokers and lenders to vet out our loan to costs and our spreads, which are shown on the screen above. So a project, again, of this massive scale requires a lot of really great public-private partnership. And so to speak about a few of them, starting with our municipal bond issuance, we've assumed $71 million of municipal debt, which will go to finance the construction of the River Mile Education Center. And these bonds were sized using a number of different revenue sources. Some of them include lodging tax, sales tax, PIF revenue, and then a district tax of 15 mils on all commercial and then 25 mils on all residential uses. To fund the River Mile Education Center, we've also assumed $4 million of impact financing. And then looking at affordable housing, which is obviously one of the most important pieces of this project, we had initially looked at LIHTC as a potential funding source, but given our goal of delivering mixed income residences, as well as the high land basis, we decided that wasn't the right direction to go in. So alternatively, we've funded $8 million of gap financing from hosts, which is equal to about $50,000 per affordable unit. And then we also have $95 million of CPACE financing that will go towards our project costs. And finally, we've reached a partnership with Elevation Community Land Trust, we've pre-negotiated a forward purchase of all of our affordable townhome units that will wrap buildings 7 and 8. For our disposition assumptions, we also spoke to a lot of brokers and developers to determine the right exit cap rates. The one exception was for a build-to-suit office user, and just given the long-term nature of this lease, we looked at single A rated corporate bonds and applied a spread of 50 basis points to get to our exit cap of 5.5%. And as you can see, we've really taken a detailed approach to underwriting each one of these buildings. We feel that our return on costs provide an adequate spread relative to market cap rates. And for this reason, along with our project returns, we feel really confident that this project and the returns would be compelling to a long-term capital investor.
Throughout this process, we have evaluated all potential uses, and we are confident that our project is the highest and best use for this historic infill site. Once completed, our project will create a walkable, cohesive downtown experience. This project serves as a roadmap and an example of how great urban infill development can breathe life into our nation's downtowns. Thank you.
All right, you guys, let's hear it for DU. Nice job, you guys. Okay, my script says that the judges are now deliberating. Are you in fact deliberating over there? Yes. They are. Okay, let's hear it for the judges one more time too. This is not going to be easy. I mean, you all speak this language. I, again, don't, but this is amazing. And wow, what a great job they've both done. And a round of applause, because not only creating this redevelopment project being a big feat, but also getting up here on stage. That's not easy. So we want to thank both of our teams. Now, as our judges are deliberating, it's going to take a little time, so we want to hear from our president and CEO of Revesco Properties, Reese Duggan, about the plans for the River Mile site.
Wow, I feel like I'm an inferior public speaker to most of what you've seen just before me, so I'll try my best. This is really surreal, actually. I've got a bunch of notes, but I think I'm going to put those to the side. This is super surreal because I moved here 25 years ago, didn't know a single person in town, saw this site, and said, that would be a cool site to own one day. 25 years later, here we are, right, in this room with 600 people, and the work that these students has done just blows my mind. And I tell you, another thing that's very moving and surreal about this is all the faces in this room. And for those of you that don't work in different markets, Denver is a special place in our community, in our industry. I mean, there is a cooperation, a level of mutual respect that happens in this city that I don't find in very many cities. And that's why I choose to live here for the last 25 years, because it's all of you. Think about the cooperation that just went into this tonight, right? Whether it's sponsors, NAIOP, professionals, engineers, architects, contractors, schools, developers, whoever. I think it's really amazing. Just give yourselves all a hand for that, because that is really, really special. So we've been living and breathing the River Mile for 7 or 8 years now, and it wouldn't happen without Stan Kroenke and our partners at KSE. As a lot of people in this room know, the best project can be challenging without the right capital partner. So thank you to Stan and the folks at KSE that have made this possible. But mostly thanks to the students. You know, like I like to say in my office, we don't have a monopoly on good ideas. And so to see the work that went into these projects and the ideas that come out of them are really inspirational. And most of you know this, but this is a real world situation. For those of you who haven't been around this competition for a long time, it's really an interview, right? For these kids, it's a job interview. It's the real deal. In fact, Nick Allen, who works for us now in Revesco, was up on this stage a couple of years ago, and that's how we met. And now he's involved in the River Mile. And I think that's a testament to this value, the value of this competition and the value of NAIOP. And what a challenge this year, right? Hey, let's bring on the first phase of a 25-year project of 15 million square feet on the front end of a recession when interest rates have spiked 2x and office demand is 0. So good luck, good luck. Thank you for that. Thank you. But I'm super excited. I'm going to stop talking because I know we all want to see who wins this excellent competition. So thank you all for being here, and turn it over to you, Lisa. Thank you.
We'll bring you back up here. We're going to bring you back up soon. Thank you so much to Reese and Revesco Properties. We look forward to seeing all that's to come. Now, while the judges are continuing deliberating over there, let's learn more about the benefits of mass timber utilization from our challenge sponsors, the U.S. Forest Service and Impact Finance Center. I'd like to invite the Impact Finance Center CEO, Dr. Stephanie Gripney, to the stage.
Thank you, everyone who is here tonight. John did a great job thanking everybody, so like Reese, I'm going to go off script a little bit. I do want to talk a little bit and have everyone raise their hand if their life has been changed by this competition. Raise your hand high. You got a job, it changed what you did your real estate development, it changed my life. 30 years ago, I was a wildland firefighter when Storm King was happening. 13 years ago, I get a call from Byron Cost. Who in this room knows Byron? Byron, I was at a private equity fund, and he said, why haven't you applied for the job? And I said, what job? And it was the director for sustainable real estate at University of Colorado at the Real Estate Center. And he said, we'll give you an assistant professor in finance. You can do sustainable real estate developments with the CU Real Estate Foundation, teach one MBA class, and do research. And I said, you do know my PhD's in forestry, and I've never had a business class. And he hired me anyway. And that's where I got introduced to this competition and the amazing students, which changed my life. I left once we figured out that you could take expenses and donations at negative 100% loss and do a 1% loan and give the investor 101% return and save the Museum of Contemporary Art $500,000 a year or the Alliance Center $6 million a year. I left University of Colorado to do innovative finance full-time in an academic center. 3 years ago, I get a call from the US Forest Service, and they said, what you been doing for 15 years? And I said, I grow investors like you grow trees. And so that's what we do. We grow investor communities. We're Impact Finance Center, a nonprofit multi-university academic center. And they said, have you heard of mass timber, cross-laminated timber? And I said, no. And they said, you know that little teeny wood up I-70 that there's no market for? You can take it and you can glue it together in beams and panels, and it can be just as strong, if not stronger than steel and concrete, and it also sequesters carbon. Can you help us raise billions of dollars across the country for this? And I said, they said, do you have any investors for us? And I said, I got a couple. And I said, but I can grow them like you grow trees. And so I've been on this adventure with the US Forest Service for the last 3.5 years. We have weekly calls, and their top 3 cities that they care about accelerating mass timber with a focus on Justice 40, which is building wealth in underinvested communities, is Boston, Denver, and Atlanta. And they said to me, Stephanie, how do we get the real estate development community involved with mass timber CLT? And I said, well, that's simple. You sponsor the Rocky Mountain Real Estate Challenge. And so they agreed to it. That's how we all got here today. And I just wanted everybody to raise their hands because even the runner-up teams, the runner-up team from 2011 is the team that inspired me to leave and do what I do today. And any minute now, we'll probably get a grant to grow 50,000 private investors in the state of Colorado to co-invest with all of you. It doesn't require regulation. We have 300,000 millionaires, 14 billionaires, 200,000 foundations. We can invest in ourselves and make the city that we want to make. So even whichever team wins tonight, seeing the forest through the trees or taking a tactical next step, I want to tell everyone that participated, they are all winners, and we will support them throughout their career. And there is no intergenerational education opportunity like this, and for those of you who've deeply participated in this, you know it will change the future of how Denver is developed. So just a round of applause for everybody who volunteered and also the students, and thank you so much for being here tonight.
All right, Stephanie, don't go anywhere. You stay on the stage over here. I want to bring back up John. We're also going to bring up Reese to show us and show you our token of appreciation. So come on up. And while we're doing this, the guy that, well, the reason I'm here on stage, Tal Diamant, come on up here. Challenge committee member. We're going to have him say a few words. He's a dear friend of mine from way back in the day. Knows probably a lot of bad stories about me. And also one of my neighbors now. Tal.
Thank you. Wow, how do I follow that up? My name is Tal Diamant. I sit on the Challenge Project Competition Committee. And like Caitlin, I'm a shareholder at Brownstein. More importantly, though, proud sponsor of the after hours party later. And I really encourage you guys to join us. I don't know about you, but as a father of 3, there are only so many times that I can tell my partner, honey, don't wait up for me, I'm going to the after hours party. So please join us, it'll be a lot of fun. There'll be snacks, there'll be drinks, there'll be more networking. It's up the escalator at Prospectors Lounge. So we're just moments away from the announcement of the big winner, as well as the presentation of the NAIOP Cup and the scholarship checks. $10,000 will be awarded to the runner-up and the winning teams by Opus and the Opus Foundation. Thanks, Opus. little bit about Opus. Opus and Opus Foundation have a passion for improving communities. When they combine efforts, they can maximize the impact to these communities by making them better places to live, work, and raise families. Please join me in watching this video to learn more about the impact of Opus.
Wow, you guys are nice and quiet. We appreciate it. Quickly, we just want to say thank you again to our sponsors, and just a little token of appreciation for what you guys have done. And we'd love to get a picture with you. John's got a little something for you. You got to get to the center of the stage and right in the bright light, though, for us. Round of applause again for Reese and Stephanie. You guys stay on up. Oh no, you guys are the pretty people. You'd get your picture over there. Okay, I'm coming. Thank you. Oh, this mic is working too. All right, really quick before we move on, I want to do one quick thing. I'm going to put this on TV tomorrow, Denver 7, approximately around 6:45 in the morning. I'm going to get video. Now, I would recommend, here's my pro tip. If you were thinking about maybe calling in sick tomorrow, can you do one of these for me? Because you're about to be on TV. All right, I'm going to start on this side of the room and then make my way over there. You guys can hoot, you can holler, you can go crazy, but this is going to be on Denver 7 tomorrow morning. You ready? Here we go. That was awesome. Thank you. All right, we are moments away, almost ready to announce the big winner and award this year's NAIOP Wilkes Cup. I'd love for all of those that were here on stage to remain on stage. Come back on up with me. And I also want to bring up a few others to assist us with the final announcement. Luke Davidson and Mindy Humphrey with land title, carrying the prize NAIOP Wilkes Cup. Joe Swenson with the Opus Foundation, and NAIOP Colorado Executive Director Kathy Barsnar carrying the scholarship checks and certificates. Those are no joke. Look at those things. Now, student teams, let's hear it one more time. See you. And DU. If you are the winning team, we would love for you to join us here on stage. Come on up. Now, if you are named the runner-up, please wait until the close of the program, then join us here at the front of the ballroom to receive your check, certificates, and pose for pictures. And now, the time has finally arrived. Again, Mindy and Luke have the prestigious NAIOP Wilkes Cup, a traveling trophy presented annually to the winner of the Rocky Mountain Real Estate Challenge. And the Opus Foundation is going to present this year's scholarships. Listen to this. The winning team is going to receive a check in the amount of $7,500. The runner-up is going to take home $2,500. Luke Davidson, on behalf of Land Title, will you do the honors and open the official envelope and read the contents?
Hello, all right. The moment everyone has been waiting for. So a couple comments from the judges. Thanks again for the judges. Great group. Congratulations to both of the universities. But a couple comments, bullet points. The winning team told a realistic story of a neighborhood growing from the heart of our city. They delivered an integrated, pragmatic, and well-researched conceptual plan that inspired a grand vision of the future. So now, do you want to do the honors, Lisa?
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, go for it. It's all you.
Tonight's winning team for the Rocky Mountain Real Estate Challenge, University of Denver, Cottonwood Development. Drew, Adrian, Claire, Andrew, and Alex, congratulations.
Congratulations, Dee. If we can get our team up here on stage. Let's hear it for them. All right, you guys, let's hear it for DU. Congratulations, you guys. Would anyone like to say a few words? You guys want to say a few words? One of you's got to say a few words. Okay, get on over there.
I just want to say this has been a long time coming. I still remember sitting in the back of this room in 2019, looking at Nick Allen's team win and being like, I want that one day. Expensive dreams, but hey, we did it. And we want to thank everybody, Revesco, the judges panel, Greenway Foundation, Impact Finance, Land Title, just thank you. I'm ecstatic.
Congratulations, and again, congratulations to CU2. You guys have done a phenomenal job. This was such a fun night, and To get things, well, kind of wrapped up, I mean, I know this party is going to continue, but I'd like to bring John back up.
What a fantastic, excuse me, competition. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lisa, taking the time. You're probably usually asleep by now, if I'm guessing right.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. We gotta wrap this up. Come on, people.
Yeah, again, thank you to Land Title, Revesco Properties, the U.S. Forest Service, Impact Finance Center, CU and DU for making this happen tonight. For the judges, the committee members, we couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much, too. We really appreciate the effort. Don't miss the Capital Markets Town Hall. A few announcements. There's a breakfast May 10th at the Ritz-Carlton. Join us May 11th at the Tennyson chapter location of South Broadway Country Club. That's indoor golf if you haven't done it. It's super fun. Please join us for the Challenge After Party at the hotel's lobby. It sounds like some of you are already getting ready for it, which is fantastic. I look forward to seeing everybody that I haven't seen in a long time and meet new folks that are here for their first time. So looking forward to it. If you have any suggestions for projects for next year's challenge, please feel free to reach out to next year's challenge, Troy Peterson, or NAIOP's Kathy or Jama to make a suggestion. We really appreciate it. For information on upcoming events, please visit the website naiyopcolorado.org. You probably already know what that is. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming.